Ankle, not so much the knee, but the shoulder. A lot of people like to choose the right side because I'm going to talk about things that attach in reference to a clock. Straight up is 12, straight down 6, 3 and 9. When we did the ligaments, remember the anterior calafibular was at what point on the clock? 4 o'clock. People, I'm going to get you sooner or later on the lab exam if you don't know this stuff, right? So, the taping today, 2 tapings, one of which both will be used. So, sit in a chair. So, the medial longitudinal arch. When we get to the ankle eventually, we're going to talk about all the arches. Medial longitudinal arch, lateral longitudinal arch, anterior metatarsal arch, and the transverse arch. You're going to need to know all the bones that form those arches, the purpose, function, etc., of arches. But today the taping is going to be for the medial longitudinal arch. Again, you're going to need to know the bones eventually, and I'll just say them today. You won't be responsible for them now. But when you name the bones of the arches, you need to name them in the order in which they are formed. You don't want to go back and forth. So you start at the calcaneus, then the talus, then the navicular, medial cuneiform, and the first metatarsal down to the head. That's the head, this is the base. The apex is the tubercle of the navicular, right there. Apex right top. Okay, so she has injured her arch. She's a runner, jumper, and her arch is bothering her. How a good sneaker, running sneaker, how long the shock absorbing quality in that shoe lasts for how many miles? After X miles, the shock absorbing is gone. Our former track coach says 500 miles in a good $100 plus shoe. 500 miles. Now, the sneaker still looks great, but how long does it take cross country long distance person to get 500 miles? Not very long, right? Not very long. So, that can be a predisposing factor. So, we're going to tape the arch. There are several ways of taping the arch. Some people like to do like a fan. Start at the calcaneus and go to the first metatarsal, the second, third, fourth, fifth. So you just kind of fan out. Then you tape around the forefoot. Always tape from, it's like taping the ankle. You're always going to come to the lateral side, come under, and pull up on the medial side. It would never make any sense to me. I'll move this chair out and try this out. It would never make any sense to me to put the tape here and pull down. Right? You're trying to pull up. So I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to show you a teardrop taping. And so I'm right-handed, so I like to go to the right. This is easy to go to the left. I'm going to go to the metatarsal head, right there, not up in the toes. I'm going to lay the tape on. I'm going to come immediately across the side of the foot, behind the calcaneus, and then up on the lateral side of the foot. And with a little bit of imagination, that looks like a teardrop, right? So then I'm going to start from the first metatarsal head, go lateral. Oh, one other thing. I should have done this before. I want you to curl your toes slightly. So she's contracting flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum longus. If you contract it forcefully, you tend to get a cramp in your foot. So just a little bit. By curling the toes, that accentuates the arch. Right? I said that before. So now I have two teardrops, but on the bottom of the foot, there's an X. So then I'm going to go from the fourth metatarsal head, medial, and kind of come up toward the second metatarsal head. And then, because there's two little openings there, I'm going to try to cover that area too. And if you felt like you needed to do more, then you do more. So now, the next thing, and so this is inch tape. This is 1.5 inch tape. We only bought 1.5 inch tape for this class. So how you do it is you can just tear the tape and make it 1.5 inch on the other side. But so now I'm going to close off the forefoot. The first piece I'm going to go straight on like that. But then from then on, I'm definitely going to go from lateral and lay the foot on. She's got good tendons, so you don't want to tighten those down too much because the tendon slides through a sheath, right? And if you take it down, it doesn't want to slide. That's going to lead to something called phenosynovitis, and that's hard to see. So light laterally. But when I get on the medial side, I'm going to lift up. And because she has a good tibialis anterior, I'm not going to take that down. I think that's pretty straightforward. And the second taping for today is MTSS, medial tibia stress syndrome, commonly referred to as shin splints, right? Shin splints doesn't really tell you a whole lot other than something to do with the shin. But MTSS says it's medial tibia. So this is the medial tibia. What compartment is that? Posterior. There's no medial compartment. Anterior compartment, lateral compartment, everything else in the back and over here is medial compartment. So you find that medial edge of the tibia, and that's where she's complaining of pain. If you ask 10 athletic trainers, PTs, physicians what MTSS is, you're going to get 10 different answers. Right? 10 different answers. It definitely has to be something in the deep posterior compartment. So the deep posterior compartment has two compartments, superficial and deep. Superficial has gastrocnemius, soleus, and plantaris. So did I talk about that when we talked about anatomy? If you dissect the plantaris and put it over there on the table, and you ask me, Keith, what's that muscle? I looked over there, I'd say that's plantaris. So there must be something unique about it, right?
Really long.
It's long. The muscle bellies, depending on like your muscle bellies like that. But the tendon then is a ribbon-like structure. So a little muscle belly and a long ribbon-like tendon. It all goes down to the medial side of the posterior calcaneus. It's in between the gastrocnemius and the shoulder. In the deep compartment are Tom, Dick, and Harry, and popliteus. When you hear the word popliteal, it tells you what? Back of the knee. It's the distal one half of the popliteal floor, distal one half of the popliteal fossa. So I tend to think the biggest culprit is tibialis posterior. It could be Tom, it could be Dick too, but I think it's tibialis posterior mainly because tibialis posterior, as you now know, I think I've said this, attaches to the tubercle lunivicula, right, which is the apex of the arch. So every time she runs, jumps, lands on the ground, her arch is going to go down, right? Because it's a shock absorber. Where it attaches up here, tibialis posterior is the deepest muscle in the posterior compartment. It attaches to the back of the tibia, interosseous membrane, and the fibula. And then it comes behind the medial malleolus where it becomes superficial. So if you can put your foot, so it's right there. You can see it. I'm going to try to push your foot that way, don't let me. and it pops out even more, and you just track it right down to that bump. So every time she lands on the ground, arch goes down, where it attaches up here, it pulls, like that. It attaches to the periosteum, hair covering the bone. Constant pulling without recovery from one practice to the next leads to what's called periostitis, inflammation of the periosteum. The periosteum then attaches to the cortical bone. It wants to pull the periosteum off the bone. Periosteum is held onto the bone by sharpie fibers. Sharpie fibers are like the tentacles of ivy. Have you ever tried to pull ivy off a tree or a brick wall? That's how it's happening, it's like pull the ivy off. Get caught on that. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, right? Have you ever tried to pull ivy? That's what sharpie fibers holds the bone. So it's pulling on the bone. So early on, she complains of pain, kind of this whole area, but eventually, a couple days later, I say, "Get any better?" She said, "Yeah," and it really hurts right there. I begin to think, what? Stress fracture. So, how we're going to take? So if you have MTSS, I'm going to take your arch and the lower leg. You're fine. But I'm going to always, no matter where she says her pain is, I'm going to start just a little bit above the malleolus. I don't want to bind down her Achilles tendon. And she says it goes from here to here. I would take 2 inches above where it stops hurting. Now for us today, you can just do a couple strips down lower. But the direction is important. I always want to start lateral and pull medial. So kind of down low, I can make it pretty tight. And then what's the shape of her leg? Geometric cone. I can't go straight around. I've got to angle it. And you always go lateral, pull up medial. It would not make no sense to me to put the tape on like this and try to pull the muscle away from the bone. Right? You're always going to go overlap by half the width. And I would go 2 inches above where it stops hurting. Right? Okay, thank you very much for being a model. You've got good feet. We're going to have quiz too.